Hey, welcome back to Engineers Reviews, Engineers Unboxing, whatever we're going to call this mess. Got something in the mail the other day. Let's take a look. What could this be? Anybody got a guess? Well, I'm one of those people who's starting to worry a little bit about the condition of the world and the way things might go. He said as the sound of freedom screamed overhead of his house. Let's let those F-18s get out of the way here before we say too much more, but you can see this is a big Berkey 2.25 gallon water purification system. Yeah, it's a water filter. Fancy name for a water filter. There we go. I did quite a bit of reading. There may or may not be a better system out there, but I can tell you for the money, I think this is going to be the way to go. If you think you may have issues getting good, clean, potable water at some point in your future, this is probably a good item to buy it, figure out how to use it, stow it, keep it in your house nearby, keep it with your getting the hell out of Dodge kit, which some people call a bug out bag, inch bag, all those things. But I just look at this from the standpoint of, you know, if at some point in the future we have an economic collapse and we no longer get clean, potable water regularly and reliably through our pipes, you may need to be able to provide that for yourself. So I am preparing for that situation. And upon first inspection, you got a little bit of bubble wrap in here. Looks like there's some kind of a mesh fabric on the filter itself, and it's inside of some kind of a fabric. I don't know, it's what I call a geo fabric bag here. And that's all that's in the box. Oops. So, seems like it was well packaged. So far, seems to have been well treated on the way here. And I am saving all of these boxes and padding and all. Once I get this figured out, checked out, I'm going to restow it in its original box. All right, so far everything looks okay. There is, I don't know if you can see that on the camera there, but there is some kind of a mark down here on the side of the inside of the bottom. Almost feels like a grease pencil. And I'll have to read the instructions, but maybe they put that on there just to make sure that you wash the thing out real good before you use it. It does seem to be coming off just from scratching on it and rubbing it. Coming off as a relative term. It seems to be smearing when you rub it with your finger. So I would guess that's some kind of a grease pencil mark, maybe some kind of a quality control. And there is actually down here by where the spigot goes in there, if you can see that down there, but there is what looks to be some kind of a dry film or maybe some kind of a lubricant they used on the tooling that actually cut that hole. But again, it's coming off when I scratch it with my fingernail, so I think that's just something that needs to be cleaned. And got a nice rubber ring around the base there that does seem to come off pretty easy. Looks like the rubber's coming off on the stainless a little bit, but it wipes off just fine. So again, that's probably just something you need to clean before use, which if you're going to drink the water, I think you'd probably be doing that anyway. All right, so this looks like the base of the unit that you're going to, this will be the base of the unit, and then the filter is going to sit on top of it. So let's set this aside. Check out the filter unit, which has something attached to the bottom here. Which I'm guessing is the filters. All right, so there's the lid, obviously. Oh, look, it's got a shower cap on it. Lid seems to be just in fine shape. It's got a hole there. I'm assuming somewhere there's a knob that goes in that. I'm gonna go ahead and put the shower cap back on this for the moment. I don't want to scratch anything up. Set this aside. Let's see what's in this bag. Lost my knife, got so much junk laying here. right, so we have more tape, lovely. We have a spigot, plastic spigot. Looks like a couple of plugs. From what I understand, you run this with 2 filters in it, but you can see there's 4 holes down in there. And the idea is that you can put 4 filters in there to double your filtration speed. So I'm imagining that these little white things are plugs for the 2 holes that you may or may not decide to use. And then that black piece right there is going to be the knob for the lid we just talked about. And then this box got to be the filters. And of course it's taped shut. Why do we need to tape everything shut? There you go. Look at that, 2 filters. Almost feels like some kind of a charcoal filter, although I don't know exactly what that is. Got a gasket, a screw here. Hold on for a minute, gotta answer the phone. All right, sorry about that. I was waiting on a call from the vet about the dog, so couldn't not answer that call. But anyway, we're back to this. These look like a typical charcoal type filter. Interesting construction. Most of the time I'm used to seeing a cap on the top of this, but this actually seems like the filter media goes right over the top. Feels a little grainy. When I read, the biggest complaint folks had about the Berkey system was that you have to flush these filters before you use them. Come on, what are you complaining about here? How hard is that? The biggest challenge you might have there, looks like some extra gaskets. The biggest challenge you might have with flushing those filters in a situation where you don't have ready access to clean water is having the clean water to perform the flushing. So you just need to make sure that you stow enough potable water that you can flush these out before you put these into service. So this is not a system that you can just stow in your closet, pull it out when you're out of water and start using it. You need to make sure that you are stowing enough potable water to sustain you until the point where you realize you need to put this into place and start using it, and have enough potable water left to do the flushing to get this into service. So here's some instructions. Yeah, I'll probably read these at some point. You can see right here, here's the instructions for how to flush the filters, and that extra little gasket in there is to seal the filter up to the aerator on your faucet to be able to flush them out. So in my mind, people's complaints about, oh, that's just too much of a pain to have to flush the filters, where these other systems, you don't have to do that. Not that big of a deal. And in my mind, you would want to rinse off something that you're going to use to filter your drinking water anyway. So how big of a deal is it really to flush those filters out? Let's get you down here a little bit closer for the rest of this. Now, so I had ordered an extra set of filters. I think these filters are good for 6,000 gallons, roughly. So that you're looking at, right here in these filters, that's 12,000 gallons of drinking water right there. I think that would probably be enough to get you through until you find another solution. Also, if I found myself in a situation where I felt like I need to start using this for all of my drinking water, I would be building a sand pre-filter out of 5-gallon buckets and some plumbing fittings. You can find plenty of videos on YouTube for how to build those. But if you pre-filtered your water before you run it through the Berkey filter, it seems to me like these filters are probably going to last a lot longer than the 6,000 gallons that they're rated for, but I really can't say that for sure. Now I want to also tell you where I got these, and it's USA Berkey filters. I was very happy with the price I got there. I was able to find a coupon code online and get a little bit more off. I can't remember if it was free. I think it was free shipping. And also for this order, the total came to $390.45. That included the big Berkey, an extra set of filters. One set of filters comes with the big Berkey. And I also ordered this because I thought, well, if you don't have a backup, you don't have squat, is one rule of thumb. So the USA what was the name of that website I just told you? USA Berkey Filters also has available a stainless replacement spigot, so that now I have a backup for the spigot. I have backups for the filters. I don't have a backup for the canister itself, but as you can see from looking at this, okay, if something really happened to this in a SHTF economic collapse type of scenario, how hard is it going to be to get a little ingenuitive and find a bucket and drill 4 holes in the bottom? I mean, I really think you could replace this part of the system under those economic circumstances without too much of a challenge. And I can tell you from this spigot, I think this spigot was, oh shucks, $23. This stainless spigot cost another $23, and I can tell you from initial inspection, I would rate this at about a 85%. It is a ball valve. It feels pretty well made. Perfectly well made, no, but I do like the fact that there's an Allen screw here on top of the handle, which tells me you might be able to actually service this unit. And I can't tell for sure, but I think you can actually unthread this right here, and you might be able to take this apart and service the entire unit and replace the packing if you came up on some issues. A little bit of dirt in here in the packing, but that looks like polishing media. So, apparently they polished this and they didn't flush all the media off. So again, you'd want to flush this out. I don't think you'd be using this for drinking water if you weren't going to flush it out. So anyway, there's some instructions for the spigot. How hard could that be? But my initial impressions for the cost, like I said, $390 with an extra set of filters and a extra spigot. I think it's worth the money just for a little bit of peace of mind for your family's, the safety and security of your family's drinking water. It's a worthwhile investment. This unit, the Big Berkey, is rated to serve 2 to 4 people. A lot of folks use these for camping also. From what I understand, do your own reading and research, don't listen to me, but folks take this camping instead of taking drinking water with them, and then they just pull water out of a creek or a lake or somewhere and then use this for drinking water. This says it will remove 99.999% log 5 of viruses. It will remove 99.9999% log 6 of pathogenic bacteria and surrogates. Pharmaceutical drugs removed to 99.5% below lab detectable limits. So if you want to get all the Prozac out of the creek water, this will do it. Trihalomethanes, 99.8% removed. Inorganic minerals removed below lab detectable limits. Pesticides, VOCs removed below laboratory detectable limits. I'm not going to read all this. This removes 99.9% of beryllium, 99.9% of chromium, removes a lot of heavy metals, 99.9% of lead, 99.9% of mercury. You might want to run your tuna through this. I don't know, there's a lot of mercury in tuna these days. So it's going to get a lot of the heavy metals out of your drinking water. 99.9% of arsenic. E. coli, 99.999%. Yeah, that's not 100%, but that's pretty darn good. 99.9% of fluorine, 95% of nitrates, 99.9% of PCBs. Anyway, like I said, nothing's going to get 100% of everything out of your water. If you want to get 100% of everything out of your water, what do you need to do? You need to distill it. But if you think your water is that bad, you would want to scoop it out of the creek. You would want to run it through a sand filter. Then you would want to boil it. And then you would want to run it through a filter like this. If you think it's that bad, I don't think you're going to see a situation that bad. I think you can run it through this if you're camping. If you need to run a really big volume, build you a sand tree filter and then run it through this. My take on this, worth the money. I've done my research, and I think if you're looking to invest in some kind of a backup water filtration system, this is going to be the way you want to go. One other reason I did like this is the fact that it's it's highly, I'm going to use the word stowable, because as you saw when I unpacked it, you invert the top and it will actually fit into the base. So it compacts down to this size. Everything will fit inside of this. And this is all you need to store in your home or your attic or wherever you store your economic collapse backup paraphernalia. So anyway, that is my take on the Berkey. They have different sizes of this. There's the big Berkey, the Royal Berkey, the, I don't know, the Tsar Bomba Berkey. I don't remember all the names of them, but if you feel like you need a bigger one, I think they even, as you get larger, they have these that take 6 filters at a time. And all you're doing is increasing your rate of filtration and your quantity of storage. So if you look at the base of this unit, whereas this is the base, I think the Royal Berkey has the same top and base in the sense of how many filters it holds, but it's just taller, so that it'll store more water in the bottom. Well, how much water do you need to store? You just open the spigot and put a bucket under it, and you can store all the water you want. So I went with the big Berkey for the smaller size for long-term storage. Anyway, appreciate you watching. Hope you subscribe down there and check out more videos to come as I do an engineer's initial reaction to what I'm looking at when I open up boxes of junk that I mailed during coronavirus quarantine. So thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.